Hello there, you're watching Left, Right and Centre on NDTV. I'm Maha Siddiqui. The rain fury has wreaked havoc in North India, and even though there was some respite in the worst hit Himachal Pradesh today, dark clouds are now hovering over Uttarakhand. The next 48 hours remain critical for the state. Now a red alert has been issued for Uttarakhand. The cloud burst in Pithoragarh has already led to severe damage. Houses have collapsed due to heavy rain and strong flow of river. 4 people have been killed and 7 others injured in Uttarkashi when boulders tumbling down the hills amidst heavy rain crushed 3 vehicles. Let's turn our attention now to Himachal Pradesh, where 30 people died and damage worth 3,000 crore rupees has been suffered by Himachal Pradesh as rain battered the state. The state capital Shimla has reported the highest number of casualties with 11 dead. Over 500 tourists are stranded in places in Lahore and Spiti after rain-induced landslide cut off access to the areas. According to officials, National Disaster Response Force, that's NDRF, rescued 515 labourers stranded in a waterlogged slum in Una district. And now to Punjab and Haryana. There was some relief from rain today, but after 3 days of incessant downpour that has left a trail of destruction, as you can clearly see in these visuals here. On Left, Right and Centre tonight, my colleagues there on the ground will give us a real sense of the situation. Ankit Tyagi is joining us from Himachal Pradesh, and Tanushree Pandey will also be joining us shortly. She'll be joining us from Uttarakhand. Ankit, coming first to you, what is the current ground situation, Ankit, considering that there was some respite today, but the trail of destruction that has been left behind, how are people dealing with it?
Well, Maha, like you said, relief today in terms of there hasn't been any fresh rainfall as far as Himachal Pradesh and specifically the worst hit districts like Mandi, Kulu and Manali is concerned, though the access to Manali is still blocked. You can't reach Manali because the highways have been washed off at many places. But as there was bright sun today, with a lot of hope and cheer, it also completely cleared the picture of the devastation and the extent of that. Today, the Chief Minister has been doing aerial surveys of many areas. If you want to go to Kasol, the road is washed off, though the Himachal Pradesh police has said that there are many people there because of no electricity. Many tourists, those who are stuck there, their families have not been able to contact them. Don't worry about it. The police says that they have been able to establish contact with few hoteliers. No worry as far as the casualties are concerned. But the extent of damage. Today I went to a place called Pando, which is just 7 kilometers from the Pando Dam, from where the water was released 2 days back in the river Beas, and the destruction it caused is mind-boggling. I went a lot and met a lot of people, angry residents, those who have been saying for the last 36 hours, they lost everything. People had to run out of their houses, which were in the low-lying areas near the river bank, with just the clothes that they had on their body. Everything else has been lost. Met a mother who just recently got her daughter engaged. A widow was planning the wedding of her daughter in January, and she's lost almost everything inside her house. I went inside the house where people were taking out the sludge and the mud from inside their houses. At some places, the sludge now, after the water has receded, is almost 7 to 8 feet high. These houses will have to be rebuilt. There is nothing left. In the market area of Pando, there have been shopkeepers, those who have suffered great losses. So it was very, very sad, in fact, to be among people, those who have spent their lifetime building these houses.
Well, imagine this is a situation where Ankit is at the moment where flash floods have devastated people's lives. Communication lines, of course, are one such that can be broken during a situation of this nature as well. But we have with us Tanushree, who is joining us with more details now from Uttarakhand. Tanushree, Rishikesh is where you are at the moment. Tell us how the state is prepared, Tanushree, for the heightened alert, because there's a red alert now sounded for the state.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Maha. Red alert has been sounded across the state in the worst impacted regions, which we have been told by the IMD official on the ground is Chamoli, the entire compound region, Chamoli, Tehri, Garhwal. These are some of the regions and mainly the two districts which are going to be worst impacted, and there's in all likelihood these two regions are going to witness intense rainfall. Now we really hope that the predictions of the IMD goes wrong, but as of now this is what the IMD is predicted. Now on the ground, as of now, the situation is absolutely normal, and as Ankit was rightly mentioning, that at least today all day long there was absolutely no rain, not in Himachal Pradesh, and neither in Himachal Pradesh nor in Uttarakhand, and that's why the area is completely dried up. But as far as preparation is concerned, I'll tell you that right at the backdrop you can see the Ganga river, and this is the Lakshman Jhula. This is the main highlight of Rishikesh, and this has been completely closed for tourist this is one of the main tourist attraction, and this entire bridge has been closed for public, and it is going to be closed for the next 3 to 4 days as a red alert has been sounded across the state. Now we have been told that in Uttarkashi 1, due to landslide, at least 6 people have died today. There was a major landslide and rocks fell on 2 of the cars, which caused 16 people to die, and that's why officials are asking people to not make their way into the state, and especially not after Rishikesh, because from Rishikesh to Uttarkashi till Joshimath and Hemkund Sahib, that's the entire region where rocks are extremely vulnerable, extremely prone to landslides, and that's why officials are constantly asking people to not make their way into the state and not beyond Rishikesh, especially if it starts to rain tomorrow. It did not rain at all all day, but the IMD is saying that it's likely to rain tomorrow. So if that happens, the IMD officials are requesting people to not make way into the state. But interestingly something, Maha, it took us from Delhi to Rishikesh and Haridwar, it took us more than 10 hours, and that's because the entire route from Delhi to Haridwar was completely blocked and taken over by thousands of Kavariyas. So on one hand, Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami is requesting people to not make their way into the state, but on the other hand, a very big religious congregation which is called the Kavar Yatra, thousands of Kavariyas are pouring into the state. They are making their way, and thousands of Kavariyas were also there on the Haridwar main ghat of Ganga, where as of now things are under control. But if it starts to rain, the IMD is saying that crowd is something which is not which can be problematic in this kind of a situation. So that is onto the state government, because as of now the yatra has not been suspended. But if we talk about the other regions, if we talk about the casualties, only 6 people, at least 6 people have died so far. As of now, it's not raining, things are under control, but the night time and tomorrow morning are the most crucial time. If it starts to rain, then Uttarakhand is where the next danger is looming over. Back to you, Maha.
Yes, absolutely, Tanushri. That's the prediction as well. That's why the red alert has been sounded. You take care, Tanushri. Stay in a safe place as you report from Ground Zero here for NDTV. Let's turn our attention back to Himachal Pradesh. Now, the Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister has conducted an aerial survey today, as Ankit Tyagi was just telling us, and said that the priority was to restore power and provide clean water. The government is also trying to establish alternative routes where roads have been washed away. This as the state woke up to a sunny day after days of heavy rains, leading to massive destruction. One of the worst affected districts, Mandi, is hanging on to hope amidst the devastation. NDTV's Ankit Tyagi reports.
Pando Bazaar in Himachal Pradesh submerged in flash floods, and a 100-year-old bridge washed away.
Pando Bridge span 288 feet, 1923.
NDTV managed to reach on the ground to bring you the aftermath.
I've come across to Pando, right on the Pando Dam. This is on the Beas River, which has in fact wreaked havoc not only in Mandi but going forward to Kullu and up to Manali. This is the dam, and you can see the ferocity, the force of the water that it is being released. All the gates of this dam are still open because upstream, the catchment area, because of the heavy rainfall that took place for 48 hours, the water is still above the danger mark.
As we reached the main Pando town, angry residents had blocked the roads. They say after 36 hours of devastating flash floods, the administration is yet to provide them any relief. Many breaking down while narrating their ordeal.
सारा रुड़ गया कुछ खाने नो 3 दिन हुए भूखे बैठे लो कोई नहीं पूछ रहा सानू बात नहीं पूछ रहा कोई क्या है क्या बड़े वोट लड़ तो सारे आ जाते वोट के तो देने से तो सब कुछ रुड़ गया रोटी खाने नो भी नहीं पूछना है.
As we make our way to the Pando Bazaar, we see houses after houses full of sludge and mud. People clearing the mud and the debris from their houses. Sarabjit, whose daughter was to get married in January, tears up as she shows the damage to her house because of the floods.
बुक्स वगैरह पूरे खत्म हो गए मेरे बच्चों के. बुक्स वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं रहे. पेन तक नहीं हमने उठाया अपने बच्चों का. पेन तक भी. और देखो
समय नहीं था इतना.
समय नहीं था. 7 मिनट में आया हमारे पानी. 9 फुट पानी देखो यहाँ तक आ गया हमारे. ये देखो
ये निशान दिख रहा है.
निशान दिख रहे हैं ना.
Shopkeepers in the area have been hit hard. Goods totally damaged.
कितना सामान था सर ये?
हमारा तो मिनिमम इसमें 300 कट्टा इस दालों का था. मतलब 200 कट्टा हमारा खराब हो गया.
200 कट्टा खराब हो गया.
जी जी.
पानी ऊपर तक भर गया था.
पानी तो इसके लेवल 5-4 या 5 फुट की लेवल तक ऊपर पानी आ गया था.
6 to 7 feet of sand and mud tells the story of the damage River Beas has done to Pando.
You've seen that big yellow road roller constructing roads somewhere around your city, yourself. This is that road roller that I'm standing on. It's quite high. If you remember, it's 7 to 8 feet where the driver sits. Look at that. That's the driver's seat. And why is it quite high? Why does it feel that I am this road roller and the driver's seat was on the ground level? Because the water had come till here. It had inundated this. And what is left of that is this sand, the sludge and the debris. This looks like a miniature version and I look like a giant standing next to this vehicle. This was completely buried under the water. The water had come from there and had completely gone over. In fact, it was so high that it had gone over this area. Now, what is left is this, as I was telling you with that road roller as well, the aftermath. This is completely filled with sand. So the water must have seeped inside. You will see this is completely filled with sand. This is what is left. And I don't know how much they will have to dig to take this car out, in fact, from the position that it has now found itself in. With my colleague Govind and camera person Joseph Ankityagi in Pando.
Turning our attention to Punjab now, while the focus over the last few days has been flooding in the cities, now the administration's focus has shifted to assessing crop damage. Farmers are calculating their losses as the heavy rain over the last few days inundated fields and destroyed standing crop.
54-year-old Hari Singh, a paddy farmer in Mohali's Amlala village, counting his losses. This as his hopes of a profitable rice plantation this year now under flood water. As we wade through his inundated field, all that one can see is uprooted paddy and havoc on the fields, unleashed by the most intense July rain Punjab has seen in nearly 30 years.
पूरे साल की जितनी भी हमारी मेहनत है की हुई है तो बर्बादी है अभी ये तो जितनी फसल है. पानी इतना ज़्यादा आ गया कि कभी इतना पानी पहले देखा नहीं हमने. अपनी 30-35 साल में पानी इतना कभी नहीं आया. कल तो यहाँ पे कुछ पता ही नहीं चल रहा था भी हम भी बचेंगे कि नहीं बचेंगे. फसल से ही घर चलता है ना, तो किसान है, हम किसान से ही ताल्लुकात हैं हमारे, इसी के साथ ही गुजारा चलता है। अगर यही खत्म होगी तो देखो फिर क्या बनता है अब।
Thousands of acres of land sown with paddy submerged, and over 150 villages on the river bank in just Mohali severely impacted as the water level of the Ghaggar rose nearly 20 feet in the past 52 hours. Even as farmers come together to prevent the water from entering their homes, the personal loss for each is already worth lakhs of rupees.
नुकसान का कोई अंदाजा ही नहीं थी, बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसान हो गया जी, बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसान जी।
The administration is yet to assess the crop loss and the impact it will have on prices and subsequently supply chains.
इसकी भरपाई हमारी अर्ज तो यही है कि सरकार करे। कब करती है सरकार, वो सरकार ने देखना है। यहाँ पे और भी बड़े ऑफिसर आके देखें। यहाँ पे सारे वैसे ऑफिसर आ रहे हैं, बीडीओ साहब, एसडीएम साहब हमारे यहाँ कल भी चक्कर लगा के गए हैं। सारा कुछ ही हमारा तो जीवन अस्त व्यस्त हो गया है कल से लेके, क्योंकि ये हमारे रास्ते हैं, हमारी सड़कें टूट गई हैं। ये हमारा पुल था, इस पुल को हमारे 50 गांव उधर के 50 गांव इस साइड के कनेक्टिविटी थी हमारी।
Punjab's agricultural minister says, "We have deployed special teams and are keeping a close watch on the situation across the state. If rain continues, farmers are likely to be impacted more. We are ready with a plan of action." While we talk about the urban civic mess due to the torrential rains, the worst hit in the long run are the farmers of Punjab and Haryana. The entire fields inundated, their crop uprooted. Well, while the government has just started to take, assess the situation as far as the loss is concerned, the big question is how will these farmers cope given the fact that their entire year of hard work is now underwater. In Mohali with camera person Sushil Rathi, Vedant for NDTV.
Meanwhile, in Delhi, the Yamuna breached the danger mark after Haryana released more water into the river from the Hathni Kund barrage. The authorities evacuated families from low-lying areas considered vulnerable to flooding and shifted them to relief camps and community centres in various parts of the city.
Evacuated, but not really rehabilitated. These people, 7,000 according to some reports, have been moved from the overflowing banks of the Yamuna and have been living under this flyover in Mayur Vihar in East Delhi for over a day. But they say they have no food, no water and no toilets.
बस सुबह का एक टंकर पानी आया, बच्चा उधर भूखे मर रहे सबके।
अरे सारी समस्याएं हैं यहाँ, नहीं भोजन पानी की व्यवस्था, नहीं कुछ है। बच्चों देख ही रहे हो, ऐसे पड़े हैं हम लोग।
कल का सुबह का खाना खा रखे,
खाना खा लिए,
खुद से जो लाए थे वो
खुद से बनाए।
Others in the Yamuna Bazaar area, just on the edge of the river, haven't moved out, even though the dirty water has invaded their homes. About 1,000 people have stayed on here, though some are preparing to leave.
को तो साल हो गया, बताते हैं लोग कई साल पहले इतना आया था।
खाना पीना सब बंद हो गया सर, खाना पीना काम से मिलेगा, कुछ भी नहीं खाना पीना।
Officials of the Delhi Boat Club, the Municipal Corporation and the Yamuna Flood Board are working overtime to evacuate people. Yesterday, Chief Minister Kejriwal met all these officials and made plans to deal with the impact of the unprecedented rain on the national capital.
हरीश जी, कितने बोट का इंतजाम आपने कर रखा है अगर कोई उस तरह की स्थिति है?
करीब 40 तो बोटें यमुना में उतारी हुई हैं और उसके बाद में 15-20 बोटें ऊपर स्टैंड बाई भी की हुई हैं। पूरा इंतजाम है, सब पे डाइवर्स दो एक बोट पे दो डाइवर्स भी हैं।
कोई आंकड़े कि कितने लोगों को शिफ्ट आपने करवाया होगा पूरे रिवर बेड इलाके में से?
देखिए, करीब मेरे ख्याल से अगर पूरी 6 डिस्ट्रिक्ट पड़ती हैं तो उसमें करीब 25-30 हज़ार आदमी तो ऊपर करा दिए हैं।
Rail and traffic route has been closed at old Loha bridge since 6 a.m. because due to, you can see the flow of river right now. Here we are standing at the Yamuna Boat Club, and this is due to approximately 50 lakh cubic water has been released from Hathni Kund barrage.
This two-tier bridge, known as the old railway bridge, is now shut. No cars in the lower level, no trains on the upper level. As the water level in the Yamuna is at an all-time high, last seen in 1978. With Parimal Kumar, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Now, with India seeing more extreme weather events, it's important for authorities and people to be forewarned. Here's a look at how India gets its weather predictions and steps being taken to make it more accurate.
The recent flash floods and extreme rainfall that we've been seeing in Himachal Pradesh as well as parts of North India have put the focus back on our weather predicting capabilities, as that is key to help governments and local administration be better prepared for extreme weather events. Now, currently, India depends on satellite data and computer models for weather prediction. The Indian Meteorological Department uses the INSAT series of satellites and supercomputers for their predictions. Forecasters use data generated by the satellites around cloud motion, cloud top temperature, water vapor content that help in rainfall estimation, weather forecasting and tracking cyclones as well as the direction cyclones may take. Now, the Indian Meteorological Department is also using Doppler radars to improve efficiency in predictions. The number of Doppler radars has increased from 15 in 2013 to 37 in 2023, and the government has said it will add 25 more radars in the next 2 years. Doppler radars are used to predict rainfall in the immediate vicinity, making prediction more timely and accurate. Now, India is also set to acquire its fastest supercomputer by next year at an estimated cost of 900 crore rupees. This will be 3 times faster than the existing supercomputers that we have, the Mihir and Pratyush, and will enhance block level forecasts. With climate change leading to more extreme weather events, timely predictions have never been more crucial.
Meanwhile, amidst all this, since there is a red alert generated for Uttarakhand, DGP Uttarakhand, who spoke with us earlier on, has this warning for the public. Let me now go across to the Uttarakhand DGP, Ashok Kumar. He's joining us for more. Sir, first of all, what is it that you are telling the citizens in this critical period, considering now there is a red alert in Uttarakhand?
We had the orange alert earlier, but then we were ready and we have alerted all our districts, and we have even given on social media and to ANI and to everyone that people should avoid their travel plans to hills, Char Dham and other hills. So we have almost stopped traffic to the hills since yesterday, and we have alerted all our units, police and SDRF in all places, and we are trying to, minimize the impact of disaster, whatever best is possible.
So already there are reports in Pithoragarh of a cloud burst. What about the tourists specifically? Any message that you would like to send out to them in this current period?
My request is, I have requested earlier also, again through your channel, I would say that avoid travel to hills till at least till 13th. Don't travel to hills before 14th.
Sir, are there any specific areas where you would require any assistance from the center, where you would want evacuations to be done? Any areas that you seem to think are more critical right now?
As of now, there is no such requirement, but we already have a battalion of NDRF in the state, and they are deployed at 5-6 places. Our SDRF is deployed at 39 places, so they are there to support us in case of need. If more requirement is there, then we will seek assistance, further assistance. One battalion is already deployed.
So what about the situation of the roads, the electricity supply? Is that disrupted, or is there any move to restore them? What is the situation like?
Roads in the hills are quite, closed. Number of roads about 200, and all routes to Char Dham districts, last Badrinath, Gangotri, Kedarnath, Yamnotri are closed. But in the plain areas, the roads are okay. Minor problems which are sorted immediately. As of now, not much problem on electricity front.
So my final question to you, what are the specific areas, if you can tell us any specific regions in Uttarakhand which are more prone to this inclement weather that we are seeing at the moment?
The border districts are always more prone. Uttarkasi, where we have Gangotri and Jamnotri, then Rudraprayag, where we have Kedarnath ji, then Chamoli, where we have Badrinath ji, and then Bageshwar and Pithoragarh, which are, higher in the hills, already in the snow-clad mountains. So those are more vulnerable. Always these places have been more vulnerable.
Ashok Kumar, many thanks for speaking with NDTV and sending out this message. All right, let me go across to our two guests who are joining us on the show now. Mahesh Palawat, Vice President, Met and Climate Change. And this is at SkyMet Weather. Professor Anil Gupta, HOD, Policy Planning, NIDM, that is the National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs. Let me first go across to Mahesh Palawat because at the moment, Mahesh Palawat, people want to know what comes next. A red alert has been sounded for Uttarakhand. What does it mean?
This red alert is only for next 24 to 36 hours because now weather activities have reduced over most parts of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and western districts of Uttarakhand. Now we think that Nainital, Almora, Chamoli, the Pithoragarh, Rudraprayag, these areas, Tehri Garhwal, these areas may receive moderate showers with 1 or 2 heavy spells, and after 2 days weather will be receding, or you can say rain activities will reduce significantly. And yes, because mountains are very brittle and now a heavy downpour has already occurred over those areas. So light rain or moderate showers can also trigger landslides in coming days. So it is risky to travel to hilly destination for at least next 1 week. Yeah.
Next 1 week, you are saying it's risky to be traveling to any of the hill stations, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Professor Anil Gupta, is rampant urbanization a reason for the nature's fury being felt even more intensely? Because we see shops, houses coming up in areas perhaps where they shouldn't be.
Urbanization is one aspect, but I would say that overall strategy and design of development, basically past 3 decades or so, now we are getting aware about the impact of climate change as well. And when we talk about climate change, it is not exactly about the changes in the climatic system, but the outcomes of that change, basically in terms of the changing precipitation patterns and these kind of extremes are now increasing. So now that the focus that we want that towards the developing national the climate action plan at local level and their implementation, and basically the places like Uttarakhand, Himachal, where we are seeing this kind of tragedies. And in fact, starting from 2013 floods of Uttarakhand, now there are a number of lessons basically. So now this kind of things have become so emergent that we have the disaster management plan integrated with the climate action plan and adaptation plan as well. And there basically the local concerns are very, very important. So having the general observations about the changes in climatic systems in the region, and then what are the local implications, because the model of development cannot be changed in a day or a month or a near time.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
if our infrastructure is not designed and implemented in a risk resilient way, we are going to see this kind of tragedies. So now I would say that the two focus is very, very emergent. One, that we design and implement our infrastructure in a resilient way that can withstand any kind of extreme. And second, we have much more local preparedness for this kind of risk mitigation.
Mahesh Palawat, I want to understand also from you that even though one makes these predictions, the Met Department and agencies like yours make predictions about the possibility of the rains being intense perhaps in some areas at a particular time, but can you exactly, in some sense, very closely be able to measure in advance the fury of nature seen during a short period of time, in the sense that how accurate would the prediction be of the extent of the nature's fury?
See, there are some limitation in hilly regions because we have a network of Doppler radars which can now cast the weather for next 2 to 3 hours, and models are also very good nowadays, and the macro analysis is very good, and we have predicted the intense shower over Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, as well as over parts of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, well in advance. But in hilly regions, there is a challenge that the Doppler radar, the density of Doppler radars are very less. Only 2 Doppler radars are in Uttarakhand, one in Mukteshwar and another is nearby area. And at least there should be you can say the radar with a range of 50 nautical mile should be installed. At least 10 radars should be there, because in hilly regions the vision, or you can say the view of radar, is obstructed by higher peaks. That's why the nowcast has become very difficult. But yes, we are able to predict. We are able to predict the inclement weather conditions for next few hours, because today we have generated alert for Almora, Nainital, Rudraprayag, Pithoragarh, and these areas have received intense showers today as well. But now rain activities, as we know that rain activities are reducing over Dehradun and adjoining areas, western parts of Uttarakhand. So this is the challenges. These are the challenges. And Doppler radar should be installed, and the lightning detectors should be there in large numbers. Only one lightning detector is there. Okay. So these are the we can say obstructions which hinder the accuracy of the forecast.
All right, Professor Anil Gupta, nature's fury apart, have we made our hills more vulnerable with too much or excessive tourism activity?
Yeah, so the first thing what I would say, that even if the rainfall intensity remains the same, the flooding now, we find that more aggressive flooding, because the carrying capacity of our systems is also significantly lost. If we see our river channels, those are silt with a lot of silt and garbage is there. And to some or other way, the degradation of the forest ecosystem, degradation of our mountain ecosystems, the erodable slopes, all are contributing to that. For example, if we look at the Yamuna also, so its carrying capacity is significantly lost by a lot of encroachment, also a lot of garbage and silt. And second thing, the lot of areas is also converted to paid up areas, so that will not allow the water to percolate down. So there are a number of ways by which the carrying capacity of water bodies are lost. Beside that, not only in Delhi but in the hilly areas also, we see that a number of water bodies have also disappeared over past 3 decades or so. So these were the areas which were the natural water buffers. These were the areas of like the natural water control systems provided by the nature. So those were also are also lost. And as I referred in my previous statement, that the kind of infrastructure that we are developing, that is very much needed also, because now we need the faster pace of development. We need the 8-lane roads, these kind of roads also. But along with that, when we are making any kind of changes on the kind of earthwork that we are doing, how effectively we are working to stabilize the slopes that we are cutting. So and there are several ways. For example, even if we are doing any kind of afforestation and plantation on the hilly areas, are we looking at that it should not lead to any kind of a seepage of water within the hill system or the slope system, so that it should not create a new kind of landslide? Because these are not the older landslides always. There are landslides which were existing from past, but there are a number of landslides which are the new landslides, and many are associated with the new development, new constructions. And the third thing, despite of this kind of awareness about the extreme events and the fragility of the mountain systems, if we are building our houses and this kind of a structure on the verge of just on the I would say that the cuts of the rivers are the very, very vulnerable areas. So basically we are creating new layers of vulnerability. So that is the reason I focus that the local level planning has to be very prudent, very scientifically sound, but on not only having plan, but how effectively that is enforced and implemented. I think that is
Absolutely.
equally important.
Absolutely.
And for that
Development,
enforcement,
right.
how effective training.
Right, development in sync with nature is what is necessary when we are seeing these extreme weather conditions. Many thanks both to Professor Anil Gupta as well as Mahesh Palawat for joining us here on this discussion. In fact, we also spoke to the IMD DG Mrityunjay Mahapatra, and here's what he said about the weather predictions for the next few days. Let's listen in. Let me go across to Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra, who's the DG of IMD. Many thanks, sir, for speaking with NDTV. First of all, sir, what is the prediction for the next few days, especially for the state of Himachal Pradesh, and also then give us a brief sense of North India overall?
Yeah. As of today, the interaction between western disturbance and monsoon circulation, which caused heavy to extremely heavy rainfall activity over Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, is moving towards the east, and its impact is now restricted mostly to Uttarakhand and West UP. So we have given the red color warning for Uttarakhand and West UP today, and tomorrow the activity will also continue over Uttarakhand. At the same time, the rainfall activity is also moving towards the east. Today and tomorrow, UP and Bihar also will have heavy to very heavy rainfall activity. So today and tomorrow, Uttarakhand is still under danger because of the extremely heavy rainfall activity expected over this hill state. West UP, today we are expecting extremely heavy rainfall activity, and tomorrow it will be heavy to very heavy rainfall activity.
So, sir, you are saying that the worst perhaps for Himachal Pradesh is over, and now we need to be vigilant about Uttarakhand. That's where the major alert is at this point, correct?
Yes, you are correct. The worst is over for Himachal Pradesh, and Punjab already has been cleared. Jammu and Kashmir also clear. Himachal Pradesh also system is improved. There is no such heavy rainfall which can create danger so far. And therefore, we have to take care of Uttarakhand and adjoining West UP, where we are expecting heavy to extremely heavy rainfall today, and Uttarakhand rainfall will continue for tomorrow. So we have to be very careful for next 2 days for Uttarakhand and West UP.
Sir, can you explain to our viewers why exactly is this happening? Why are we seeing so much of intense rain in a short period of time, creating waterlogging and this kind of flash flooding in many of the areas?
Yes. As and when any western disturbance moves in the monsoon season and affects northwest India, and if at that time the monsoon circulation is active, both these weather systems interact with each other. If you just imagine a western disturbance was moving towards the northwest India and winds were coming from west towards the east, over the western Himalayan region the wind direction becomes southwest. That means wind comes from southwest towards northeast. At the same time, easterly winds come from Bay of Bengal because of the active monsoon conditions and reaches the western Himalayan region like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. So near the foothills of these three states, there will be combination of two types of winds, winds from west and also wind from the east, and hence the wind speed increases all of a sudden for a few days, like what it happened during 8th to 10th and today 11th also it is occurring near Uttarakhand. So when the strong wind happens near the foothills of the Himalaya, it has to rise up. It rises up. It is called as orographic uplifting. This uplifting of the moist air near the foothills leads to very dense and tall convective clouds which can give very intense rainfall activity. Sometimes it can be leading to the cloudburst type of phenomena, and it can lead to the rainfall like 30 centimeters or 35 centimeters in 24 hours. And this short duration rainfall also can cause the flash floods, and since it is a hilly area, it can also lead to the landslide. All these phenomena occur simultaneously, and it has occurred also in all these states. The basic approach or the phenomena which led to is the interaction of the western disturbance with the active monsoon circulation over the western Himalayan region.
So my final question, is this something that normally doesn't happen, but once in a while it is something that is in the realms of nature to happen, the interaction of the northwesterly winds, as you are saying, with active monsoon? Or do you see climate change as one of the major reasons for this?
Yeah, you are correct. It happens almost every monsoon season. You will find one or two occasions like this. It has occurred in 2013, if you remember Kedarnath episode, when about 4,000 people died because of this interaction, and there was extremely heavy rainfall activity over Uttarakhand. Similar action also took place in 2021 October. If you remember, there was 55 centimeter rainfall over Uttarakhand in a day. But over the period of time, the detection and prediction of such type of events has improved. For example, in this particular case, for the first time on 5th of month June, we informed and detected that we are expecting an interaction with western disturbance and monsoon, and therefore there will be heavy to extremely heavy rainfall activity over northwest India. Then we followed up, we started with yellow color warning, and gradually we upgraded to red color warning, and actions are taken by the concerned state agencies and central agencies. The point is that it is not all of a sudden, it is coming off with the forecast and detection by the meteorological agency at present. So that is the good news. The science has progressed, the disaster management action has been improved over the years, and hence we are able to detect, predict and take the response actions. Okay. But I will say it is not that everything, whatever happens, we can attribute to climate change. Okay. The phenomena, for example, if you just consider, I told, it is not occurring so intensely every time or more frequently in a given monsoon season. So therefore, it is not an impact of climate change, but it is impact of the association of the two types of weather systems which can happen sometimes, and it has occurred once or twice almost every monsoon season.
All right. Dr. Mrityunjay, many thanks for speaking with NDTV, sir.